Hey, this is Tanasinn again, finally with my first match review for Climax. This set with Trock Demon that I had was really close, so I'm excited to review the things that was going on through my head and hopefully get other Wald and Yuzu players up to speed in this matchup, because I know it's hard for both players. There will not be any other audio besides my voice, so feel free to open up your favorite music album while I go over every little decision that I see while watching this set back. But first, let's just go ahead and look at the round start. Good dash blocks, but pretty early punish. That looked like an assault, which if it was, that would be pretty bad. Let's frame by frame it. Yep. Definitely not the range that you want to be using assault at in this matchup, especially if Yuzu's in stance. If Yuzu's in stance, actually I have my neutral guide that I should have been following a little bit harder, I think. I'm just pulling it up on the other screen here. Come on. There we go. So I'm like right in the red zone where I should just be shielding. There was no reason for me to press assault there. Like, it's not even a second into the match. Nobody has any resources. There's no conditioning yet. Yuzu just has the advantage in this situation, and I was just too antsy, I suppose. So just block a little bit more. There, I'm trying to shield a little bit more. That green shield did cost me the cycle there. That one. So I had more grid, but then as soon as the green shield like finished, I just lose all of it. So I go back to blue shielding just to hopefully get it. Trock, seeing my shielding, goes for the assault, so that was really good on his part. But I knew that I was already kind of pushing my luck, so I just go back to regular blocking. Trock does win cycle, but I mean, trying to compete for it at that point is just not very good. This creeping edge doesn't really do anything, and it was also risky because if Trock didn't slice into me, it would have just been a punish for sure. Rewind here. Yeah, so risky creeping edge, and I just go straight back into blocking. So I don't think creeping edge is very good in this matchup, at least in neutral like this. I have done some labbing, and like in fringe cases, you can get a punish, but the stars have to be aligned, and Yuzu has to be leaving stance, which never happens. So good luck. More impatience looks like on my part. A super short throw combo though. I know Yuzu can get like another couple hundred off of that. The only thing I could be thinking of is that he was trying to be aware of the cycle. I have 3 blocks, and he is still in the transfer state, so he can't gain any while comboing me. So I would say that the benefit to not dropping it, but ending it early, was to still have a chance at competing for the next cycle. Whoa. Okay, we're doing some strike throw. Me realizing that I have a giant grid lead, I'm not pressing shield. I don't need to put myself at that risk of like getting random assaulted or random accidental green shield and then lose the next cycle again. So I'm just chilling. Trock goes for the plus on whiff throw. If that connected, I think he would have won that cycle if it connected. But he did get the counter hit because I'm a late masher. It was probably an OS, honestly, but it's such a weird spacing and timing that it's whatever. He still gets the hit. He still gets the hit, but I still get cycle. I might wake up with CS here because I have 5 grid blocks, and I know that I'm going to have to block here. Like, Wald can't really do anything against Yuzu's wake up situation. Nope, no CS. I do CS once he does get a little farther out, though, and I notice the flip. I think if he pressure resetted, I probably would have done like 6-6B or something. But seeing the flip, Wald can't contest that either. So I just go to 3D, creeping edge through it. We don't really get an advantage from this because 9 times out of 10, Yuzu's just going to resume her block string and then teleport out of the corner anyway. Or just resume pressure. Like, yep, there's the teleport. I press 5A for some reason. That shouldn't work in any situation because teleport puts her too far. I know 5B reaches, but it's also really slow and she's in stance, so maybe I was going for 623A and I messed up the input or something. I don't know. But 5A was definitely not the button I should have been pressing or wanted to press, anything along those lines, and I got punished for it and probably killed for it too. Yeah. Pretty weird start. Back to the round start. So normally, I know a lot of Wald players will still use 6-6B round start, and it is definitely not a bad option. Like, I still do it sometimes, but not in the Yuzu matchup, just because a move like her 6-6B, which is the move she used here, this would have killed 6-6B. Or I guess if our 6-6Bs clash, she would win. I just kind of use 2-2B. I'm just like, if she walks back, then whatever, and I just happen to, like, I'm not sitting here labbing this matchup. So this just kind of works out. I recognize the counter hit, so I press 2-3-6-C. I go for the easy smart steer combo. Sometimes the height can be a little weird with, like, normally if I see a counter hit, I'm going to do 2-1-4-B with the increase. But it being that close, like, I don't know, it just looks weird. So I just opt for the closer, safer, probably not that much damage loss, and I get to start the round with 2 blocks grid. So that's always a good sign. There is the wake up TK214C. So this is normally +0, but Wald gets the benefit of being the only character that can actually punish this move without, like, we just block it and punish it, because if we shield the last hit, let's see. So there's the green shield, there's the shielded hit, and then she's -3. So we get a nice 360A punish. It's a shame that we can't get anything more off of it like that, but we'll take it. Really good patience, I think. I could have assaulted there and I would have lost for sure. Actually, if I assaulted there, like on my way down, like right here maybe, that would have avoided that slash, and maybe I could have gotten a good punish. So, but that would have been more of a read, and against Yuzu, who can just kind of throw these slashes out, like, she could have just as easily slammed 2-3-6-A instead, and then I'm sure I would have died if I tried to be aggressive. So just jump in neutral, it's fun. I see she goes to concentrate a little bit to threaten the cycle. So, like, the grid blocks are 4-0. So Trock takes the moment to try to threaten that. But as I'm getting closer, I'm gonna assume that he's scared of 2-3-6-A. You know, ideally he doesn't want me in his face. So, you know, as I get right at that sword tip range, you know, he has to, not has to, but he decides to zone me. I don't green shield, and then I get the cycle. Yay for me. That was a really good backdash, actually. Uh, so I see that he's getting aggressive, like he's dashing in right after losing cycle, like a really close cycle too. So he's dashing in. I backdash because I don't really want him to set the pace of the game, like at least this early. So I get a good backdash. And the reason why I think it was good is because even if I blocked this 2C, that would have been the start of the essentially Yuzu's unlimited block string, as I like to call it. So especially something like 2C, which has a really long like recovery time. Like I'm already walking towards Trock, and Yuzu's still recovering. Like as soon as she stands, that's him holding backwards. So I'm plus after the backdash, and me realizing that I take that time to assault. He upbacks. Maybe he was expecting a dash 2B from me, but I get the assault and a nice full conversion. And we get corner carry. I probably could have gotten a little bit more damage, but with the health bar at what it's at right now, like the extra 50 or even extra 100 probably won't matter. Yeah, just nice and easy. Confirm here. I will mention that this 2A 5C frame trap is really nice though. It automatically frame traps. I don't even think opponents can mash throw out of it. Like it's a really tight frame trap, but 2A is also like 2A no cancel is -8, which is definitely not the worst for us. Like most people would think, oh, -8, that's terrible. But we just between 2A 5C and 2A no cancel 360, it becomes not that bad. So Trock tried to read the command grab, but I just frame trapped instead, and that won me the round pretty handily. All right, there's the 6-6B round start. We're just kind of doing whatever. Those slashes are whiff punishable if you're looking for them. If you can use 236C right here, so by the time you actually input 236C, so like I'm gonna count the frames because ours is, let me double check. I think it's like 16, 17, or 18 specials. Right here, startup 18. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So she is not quite recovered yet. Now she's actionable. So it's a little tight, but if you can whiff punish those Sakis with your 236C, Yuzu will be forced to be a little bit more mindful as to when she throws those out. And that will, in the long run, make this matchup a lot more manageable for you. Not to mention, you also get like 4K off of it at least. So, like 4K, the grid boost from Smart Steer, like it's really good. It's absolutely necessary to win this matchup. And as we'll see later on, I did not get a single whiff punish with it. So, I think if I got even one, I might have won. But I see that I didn't get it, so we're just playing neutral there. Let's watch the first section of that round again. Yep, so footsies, the whiff. Yep, so realizing that I missed my whiff opportunity, I just concentrate to get a little bit ahead on the grid cycle, and then not to give Trock Demon the opportunity to try to concentrate back. I kind of do that early assault from outside Saki range. Yep. Just establishing pressure. The dash 2B catches the walk back. Maybe Trock was expecting another assault or something, but dash 2B, super, super good. This combo is usually not optimal for damage. So that's 4B, 236A into 623C. And then based on how much stun meter I have left, I'll do like a number of follow-ups, but like generally if it's like over here, I'll just go straight into 3C, which is not the goal. I want it to be up here so I can put some extra moves before the 3C, and what that does is it, for like the EXS gain for combos, if you use a special move or an EX attack too closely to your next hit, your meter gain is like cut pretty heavily. So by adding in extra moves before the combo ends, that kind of runs this invisible timer that allows my next combo to get full meter gain. So like in just 2 hits, I got an extra 25 meter, but if I had that kind of like invisible debuff, I probably would have gotten like 10. If I got a full combo from it, I definitely would be at like an extra 60 or 70 or something like that, but I guess I was just expecting him to block, and he didn't, so whatever. That was a risky green shield that Trock definitely could have punished. Lately, I've been trying to Creeping Edge on reaction, because Yuzu only has 2 EXS attacks, and that's this one and Flip. If you Creeping Edge through this, you don't get, like, she can't cancel into teleport and B+. And you also can't fail this green shield because you're pressing 3D instead. But if Trock had just grabbed, if he was expecting the green shield or the potential of a green shield, he definitely would have grabbed it. I got lucky, and he just continues his block string. All right, we're playing passive. I read, or not read, but I see that I'm about to lose the grid cycle. When you block while you have Vorpal, you lose grid. So, like, at this point, I want to get rid of Vorpal so that I can just do something with it. I'm just like, whatever. I get lucky and I see him in the air, and he doesn't have any meter, so it's a pretty free anything. This conversion, though, was not the right one. The answer here should have been to 3C, because that's the perfect range and height for 3C, but as you saw just a moment ago, it's just too high for the standard conversion. For better, admittedly better damage, but I would have gotten full, like, more damage than I did, and Oki, if I just did the 3C. Alright, so brave 5B on my part. I'm gonna assume that, like, I just kind of thought that he was gonna run up to try to throw, so I sent out an early 5B. I don't really want to deal with Trock's shimmies. Like, I know Yuzu players will like dash, delay 5C or 2C or whatever. So by pressing this 5B, I'm just saying, like, hey, stay out in your range. You know, you like your range, so stay out there, and this is what you get for coming in at me. This should be dead. Yep, good. All right, so that's round 1. All right. So how did that round start go? Did I just random JA? Oh, no, okay. So that was 5B. So counter hit 5B into clap. That only works round start on counter hit. So when you press this kind of sequence, don't expect it to work all the time. But, you know, I see it, so I go for... Oh, I go for the good route. This route does like an extra 300 damage compared to like the easier stuff. So I would definitely suggest learning it. I think the hardest part is this JC increase, because you have to delay it a little bit. Because if you're too early, Yuzu's actually, or your opponent is just not low enough to get hit by it. So you use it, you delay the JB a little bit, and then you press 6-6A to get this dashing 5A. And then the smart steer kind of just does that. But 3,500 meterless, and we get grid for it. So, yeah, we get like... Wait, how much grid did we start with? Yeah, so we're at like 1.5, and then it brings us up to 2, plus this like little bit from the dashing while she's in the corner. So we're up by a really comfortable amount right now. Good read on the passive Yuzu. We're just pressing shit, but not pressing it with purpose, so Trock Demon actually wins the cycle here. Yeah, so I was just trying to enforce plus frames. I guess I was thinking like, oh, I have such a grid lead that he can't really compete for it, but he just shields, I think, wait, just once? Yeah, just one green shield, and that's all it took. So if you're playing Wald, definitely be more aware of the potential of a green shield, like especially after something like this. That is definitely within 360B range. And if I was looking for it, like especially with the cycle coming up, that would have been like an easy 4K. But instead, I give it up. 623B on response to chain shift. I think that was probably the best thing I could have done at this range. 2A, I think, would have been too short. 5A might have caught assault if she did it, but like it would have whiffed in every other situation. 2B is, I don't know if it's too slow, but it also loses to assault. So I have meter. I say, fuck it, I'm just going to use my fastest move that is also massive. Trock goes for 6-6C, I think. Yeah, that's definitely 6-6C. I don't know what the startup of that move is. Command normals. Dash moves, 10. So yeah, that definitely would have beat out 2B, because 2B is 11 frames. If I did 6-6B, that would have traded. I don't know in favor of who, but either way, even if Trock had blocked 623B, I had meter to play RPS, but it hits. I'm not sure what that clap was, but you can actually get a meterless conversion on this counter hit. So an air counter hit 623B, you can link with 5A. So like right there, just about, you just press 5A, and you can just kind of convert into whatever you think will hit, like whether it be jump canceling or 4B or whatever, but it works. Oh, the J214C actually working this time. It looked like I grabbed afterwards. Yeah. Probably not very good. I mean, Yuzu can just always, like, if she does flip on your wake up, there's absolutely nothing you can do. Like, I mean, you could bail off. And there's some other fringe cases where you can't actually do stuff, but in most cases, like especially mid-screen, you honestly, you just want to hold it. There's not really anything else to contest with. The reset. I've been meaning lately to just take the red combos, especially because we have so much more health than everybody else. Yeah, it might have turned 1,400 into like 3K, but instead I'm getting reset into probably another 3k. So yeah, see. So next time, or I think just going forward, especially early on in the combo, that like, and it's from a good, not, well, I don't know how good of a starter, but it's not a bad starter. It's not like an assault starter, you know? So just take the red combos, and if you do see you get the red combo, then I would suggest holding it, because usually if there's a red combo, there's something wrong with the combo, probably. And then it's like, okay, they might actually drop for real next time. Something like that. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, just take the red combo sometimes. Let's see what happened there. I don't know. I think I was just not crouch blocking. I think it was gapless, so maybe I was churning 360. I don't know. All right, so we have cycle. We're holding defense. Yuzu's in stance, so we can't really do anything. Even if we pop chain shift, she's 100% actionable and has many invincible options, so we just gotta wait for her to leave stance before we can play the game. I think that was another whiffed Saki. So it was, but the ones that in stance, or the ones that are in stance, those are harder. No, those you should not attempt to whiff punish. The startup is reduced quite heavily when she's in stance. So it makes it much harder to react to. So in neutral, the startup is 17. But when she is in stance, when she uses it, wait, she wasn't in stance. What am I? I'm watching it and I can't even tell if she's in stance or not. Yeah, she leaves stance, re-enters stance. So yeah, that could have been a whiff punish. And if I got a whiff punish at that amount of health, that would have been my round for sure. Oh, I remember that. I think we were both panicking. So I think I tried to mash 1A or something, 1A or 2A. Yeah, it's definitely 1A. Even if Yuzu went for throw, I probably would have lost that interaction. So I don't really know what to do about this situation yet. Maybe option select with Veil off or something. Who knows? But he could have won here. I could have not lost here if I just did a proper 360, but I think it was just how fast paced that the spaghetti was. Yeah, I just wasn't expecting the combo to drop, and I wasn't expecting the red mist either. If Trock had done anything besides an A button, this 623C probably would have won. I personally find it faster to input 623C, so in the moment I'm like, oh shit, I don't have much time to react to this situation. I need to press the reversal that takes the least time to input because like chain shift is already halfway up. And so I press 623C. That shit has a 17 frame startup, so that does not connect. And then that's the round for that one. Very unfortunate. All right, 6-6B catching the up back, but not much else. That was another whiff punishable Saki. Like, even all the way back here. Like, I know my graph or whatever has like that yellow sliver, but that was in CLR. The whiff punish range is so much better that, like, even if you whiff, it's still worth to go for. So, it's just so good to get it. I would go as far as to say that the matchup doesn't even start until you can whiff punish that Saki. That was a weird one. So that looked like a pretty intentional dash 623. Maybe I was trying to hard call out assault, maybe? I don't know, that seems really weird. Uh, or maybe if he just if Trock just dashed into me, then even if he blocked it or dash blocked, I'd only be -3 and it would have been okay. But it's Yuzu, so I just get hit. Wake up chain shift. Yep. And there's the flip. That was kind of a riskier. Like normally, when I see that, I would just creeping edge the first time. Like there was no need to wait for me to wait for the recovery of it to creeping edge afterwards. Like that was just opening myself up to risk for no reason. But either way, teleport out. I'm actually surprised this hit, and I think I remember being surprised when it hit the first time too, because like I never like I just expect Yuzu to just always react like, oh, you just press jump and that's the end of it. uh, if Trock had done a slash, so we creeping edge, he does stuff. I just green shielded, so like as the green shield is, or as the teleport is resolving, I'm churning 360C, and then I get the grab. If Trock had done any of the slashes like most Yuzus would at that point, that still would have worked. So I'm guessing that's what I was calling out. But he didn't do his slashes, but he also didn't jump. Maybe it's tournament nerves. We're both pretty nervous because we both know that we're both good players, so it's pretty hard. Pretty hard sometimes. That was another one of those kind of like stay out of my range 5Bs, but this time it doesn't work out. I think I remember, yeah, if I pressed it just a little bit earlier. Yeah. Let me see. I think I have some hitboxes that I can pull up. I think it's this one. Yeah. So, yeah, the claws don't quite look like that. Like, I think I'm one frame too slow because it's like the blur of the claw coming out. So, if I was just a little earlier, that would have been a super good 5B. But Trock coming in with the 6C. 6C is actually a slower startup move out of stance, I think. Let me check super quick. Command normals. And what was the move again? 6A. Yeah, so that's a 16 frame startup. So 16 versus 13, but so I had the faster move, but he pressed it earlier. So good job, Trock Demon. All right. Veil off. I usually don't use Veil off against Yuzu that much because it sends Yuzu back to where she wants to be, or where she's comfortable, I should say. Maybe not where she wants to be, but you know, in her good button range, or at least out of my range, or whatever. You know, you're using it, but she just walks back and doesn't really do much. That was a really good anti-veil off on his part. So instead of trying to react to which super I'm doing, so if you play Wald, you know that delay 360C is really good here. And I know that Trock Demon knows that delay 360C is good here. But instead of reacting to which one I'm doing, he says, oh, I see Super Flash, so I'm going to veil off and beat both of them without having to think. And it works out. I am trying really hard to recuperate my meter, because if I'm going to win this round, I'm going to need all that back. But instead, Trock plays some good strike throw there. It was a very slightly delayed, like, this is throw range. So I press my option select, and he just gets that nice delayed 2A in there. Super good on his part. Hey, Luffle, in the corner. All right, last set. Let's see what we do. Quick dash 2B. So dash 2B will beat out Yuzu's 4B, so it's always good to just check if she's doing it. I don't think Trock does it in either of these next few rounds, but it's still a relatively low commitment button to press. So I do it. No reward, but pretty low risk. That was not a good 2B at all. So I don't even know what that was. Like maybe if he just, I don't know, exited stance right there at that point, that would have been a terrible stance exit though. So yeah, I would just chalk that up to me getting antsy again. I'm probably going to block for the rest of this cycle. Oh, I remember. So between the previous interaction with the throw, or the lack of throw, where Trock did the delay 2A, I remember at that point thinking that for most of the set, he hasn't thrown me. Like, I think he did one round very early on, but especially after the throw that lost me the round, I was thinking, okay, I need to be willing to take more throws because he hasn't done it yet. But then in that moment, I said to myself, he's going to throw me. Like, he's going to anticipate that I'm going to take the next throw because I just lost a round for not taking the throw. So we're traversing a few layers here. So I option select, it works out. Oh, but I press probably the worst button to press after a tech throw like that. And that is 5C. Yeah. We'll leave it right there. So 5C. I know it's 15, but so 5C is a 15 frame startup right here. But a tech throw only leaves you +8. So I'm leaving a 7 or a 6 frame gap or whatever. Just because, I don't know, like, it's a really bad habit that I got recently. And even after Climax, I was still doing it for some reason. So don't press this button after you're +8. A much better button would have been 2C. Another good button is 623A because that'll also catch backdash. And 66B is also pretty good too. The confirm can be a little bit riskier though, because like if you want the good combo, like 66B into increase clap, you have to leave a pretty big frame trap, which they can mash out of. But it's also a really good reward, but so is 2C, so I don't know. Just don't press 5C here. All right, so a chain shift where you seemingly don't get anything. So I have 4 grid blocks. I think it's 3 by the time I recover. Yep. So knowing Yuzu, you have to block on wake up, especially if you don't have a 100 meter. So knowing that, and as I mentioned before, if you block while you have Vorpal, you lose grid. So I say, I'm just going to cash out my grid blocks. That's like 60 meter right there, something like that. I would rather have 140 meter than whatever I might have gotten for blocking more. Because now I can threaten a lot more of Waldstein's stuff instead of just like 236A CS or something like that. Now I have meter, so my damage is high. I can do reversals. I can veil off if I want to. Like, so many more options. So many more options when you have 100 meter versus less than 100 meter and Vorpal, if that makes sense. All right, so that was a proper blue shield on the super. So I'm like, oh, I want more grid because I'm down a little bit. So I'll just react better than I did last time. And now I have a much better grid lead. And now we're chilling. So we have cycle. This time I'm not popping chain shift because now I have nearly full meter. So I'm not as pressed to gain it back. Even though I'm blocking, like, it's fine. Another not very good assault. If I had been a little bit more patient and was more willing to attempt to whiff punish with 236C, because I had the meter that I got from before, this could have been the equalizer for sure, if I did it. But instead I got impatient and just assaulted because it's so easy to press. It's a really bad habit. Even lately I've been trying to assault less because I just keep getting clipped like this in other matchups too. Like, every time I get hit out of assault startup, I'm just like, man, I should have just pressed 236A or 236B. Like, it's faster and more threatening than just like assault JB or whatever I was going to try to press. No combo though. That's a weird frame. So in response to the whiffed green shield, that's why I activate chain shift. So I green shield and I'm looking at the grid and I say, I'm going to lose an entire grid block if I don't, if this shield whiffs, which it is, like 100%. And he starts concentrating because he knows the same thing. He's like, oh, this cycle's mine. So I pop chain shift, get my couple bucks a meter, and I see him still concentrating during the chain shift. If I remember correctly, I think it takes 12 frames to drop concentration. 12 seems like a little high. It might be 8 or it might be 6. I don't remember. I think 6. But either way, he's minus in this situation, minus something. So I'm like, oh, well, if he's minus, I'm just going to throw out a safe button. And he presses and we trade. So I'm like, oh, that could have gone a lot worse. But on the other hand, if I had walked back, maybe, or backdash into 236C, get that juicy whiff punish, like, that would have been super good. I don't know if it would have worked, but like, the idea is there. There's another failed whiff punish, so that's 3 guaranteed ones that I could have had. There's 4, like, I'm just getting way too impatient here. And I died to the assault as well. I see the dropped combo, like, I pretty much, like, in my head, I'm sure I'm like, oh, I'm dead, but I'll just hold my tech button just because whatever. He does drop the combo, and looking at the grid cycle, it's like, I need this cycle. Like, I'm just gonna shield. I'm dead regardless if he calls it out. So it's like, whatever. Kind of like low stakes from my point of view. Like, yeah, it's 1-1 in a tournament, but like, the health values is like, man, this round's done. So I get cycle because I can do it. I remember this. So when I see this situation, a stance jump while chain shifting, usually I expect Yuzu to teleport to the air on behind me. But so like I 3C here, like even without watching it, I just know that I press 3C here. But he goes to the ground because like most Yuzus just do that. So I think, oh, this is the thing, so I'll counter the thing. But Trock just does, something a little different. If I pressed like 6-6B, I might have been able to catch both. But really good on Trock Demon's part. All right, let's see. Oh, so that was a delayed 236A, which I specifically used to catch delay upbacks. If I did 6-6B, Yuzu would have blocked it. Like, that's what that walkback is, hey, I'm blocking 6-6B, and then I'm upbacking because, well, I honestly don't know, but, well, I mean, we do know because Trock goes for J236C. There's the super flash, but delay 236A, delay swipe, like, it's really good at just catching delayed buttons at round start like this. So in this case, we get rewarded pretty heavily. And this route is another important variation. It's not as much because of the early ground bounce for the air hit, but it's, 3.8. We have 3 grid blocks. Like, it's just too good. Unfortunately, we lose it to the creeping edge, and Trock does a super good mash out. So 5A is -2, which is pretty good. It is a pretty common point to do a 360 after, but Trock knows this, so he mashes, 2A or whatever. If I did 5A into 5C, I probably would have gotten like a really nice frame trap. But I think I was just kind of panicked here. I'm like, oh shit, he just did creeping edge, and now I'm in the corner and kind of in this awkward position. So I'm just like, In my head, I'm just like, I'll just do this because it's good. But against a good player, you need to do things with purpose, not like this. Like, you need to say, oh, I just did 5A no cancel kind of by accident. So I either need to take the loss of my turn and block, or double down and do like 360C or something like that. Definitely have more intention with like whatever you see on screen. All right, pretty risky situation and risky green shields too. Yeah, that's a pretty scary setup. So that was the fake out into the low. I'm pretty sure I just fuzzy block these, but I see the 5A, so I'm like, okay, I can relatively safely green shield. Like, nobody does like 5A no cancel after that fake out. Like, it just doesn't happen. 5A into 5C is a frame trap, so the green shield pays off. And more green shields just to kind of get more on the cycle. That counter hit, though, I don't know what I was trying to do there. Let's see if I can spot it off of like the first frame. DP? I don't know about that one. So that was slash into B flip. So if Trock Demon exited stance there for whatever reason, like maybe he was going to go for throw. Wait. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so he would have only been -3, which that's not enough for DP. So I definitely should have, if I were going to press something, it should have been 360. But his frame, it was a super tight frame trap, so I just get the counter hit. Not very good. 1A against Yuzu. Yeah, it just, yeah. All right, I remember this part. I mean, it's the last interaction. Yep. So So I saw Yuzu in the air. So I said, oh, I'm going to 623B this time because it gets really early head invuln. But unfortunately, so that's the startup of DP, but it's not frame 1 head invuln. So he did the fade away J whatever, I don't know what it is, but this is something that you would just have to hold, because even if you shielded it or creeping edged, I have a feeling even if you tried 360C, Yuzu would recover early enough to jump it. Like, it's just one of those fucked situations where you just gotta block, and I wasn't doing that. And because of that, it's nice seeing him pop off, though. Good job, Trock. But good games. Hopefully that explains some of the things that I was looking out for or should have been looking out for during our match. And next weekend, or maybe during this week, I don't know. But I do have like 8 more videos of recordings that I have. They're all shaky cam footage, so they're not going to be as high quality as this. But they're still not too bad, I think. So I'll see you next time.